Boom, here we go, back at it again. We're here, and we got the shift within social movements. Now we got three theorists for you today. Now the first one we're going to talk about is Charles Tilly. Now he's someone that argued that social movements imply that imply a repertoire or a toolkit of various tactics and strategies such as protests, strikes, demonstrations, petitions that allow them to advance towards their objectives. Now, he also emphasized how state institutions and processes influence the emergence and outcome of social movements. Now, we got to take a closer look at that. Now, when we take a look at everything about his theories, we have to highlight his innovations and his interdisciplinary approach to dynamics of collective behavior. Now, we're going to move on to Sidney Tarrow. He's most notable for emphasizing on political opportunity structures as key determinants of social movements. He's someone that argued that social movements are more likely to emerge and mobilize effectively when pursuing an opening or an opportunity within political systems. And that's usually when social movements start to make a change. Now, from his framework, I want to highlight the importance of external political factors in shaping trajectories of social movements. Yep, now we're going to get on to the third guy, our last theorist, our third one. Now, he's someone that developed a political process model that helps explain the emergence and dynamics of different social movements. Now, when we take his model, there's three main components. That's political opportunities, mobilizing structures, and framing processes. Now, when we take a look at all that, we want to highlight that the external political factors that are changing to the in-state policies or political alignments, organizational resources as networks and leadership and strategic framing are goals in shaping social movements. Now, when we take all that together and we want to apply it all together, we got to look at how all these three theories, are comparing to each other. Now we have to use something that they all use is called a interdisciplinary approach from sociology and political science mixed together. Now, they also each use a vast amount of different case studies and comparative analysis to build their theoretical frameworks into the real world. Now, when we want to contrast each of them, their methodical approach, they're all different. Tilly was someone that heavily leaned towards a historical analysis, while Tarrow was someone that used a comparative study and network analysis. Now, McAdam was someone that wanted to integrate quantitative and qualitative methods between them all. Now, we're gonna go ahead and take a look again at Charles Tilly, but we're gonna talk about his strength. He was a historian. He was able to dive deep into any insights he wanted about the development and the evolution of many different social movements. But a weakness he had was the amount of emphasis he had on state institutions that honestly got overlooked at times over other important factors that shape social movements, such as cultural dynamics and transnational influences. Now, when we gotta pick one to apply and be presented within modern society, I'm gonna go ahead and take Sidney Tarrow, and we have to take a look at the European Union. And when you take a look at that, they tend to use transnational activism that advocates for environmental protection, human rights, and a democratic government that collaborates and mobilizes transnationally within the EU framework. Now, to end things off, we're going to end it off on a question. Now, this question is, how are modern social movements utilizing Tilley's notion of polity? And when we take a look at that, the way we're going to take a look is modern social movements are utilizing Tilley's notion of polity by any strategical engaging with formal political institutions, any gaining interest in public support, and building alternative governance structures, forming alliances, and finally using tactics to navigate and transform political landscapes. Now, polity refers to the formal and informal political institutionals and processes that structure governance and authority within societies. Now, to end things off, it's always engaging and utilizing aspects in polity in many different ways, but that's the way they'd have to do it to achieve their goals and affect social change. Thank you for tuning in.